Hi everyone, so this is my presentation for my findings for my student. So my student introduction, the pseudonym that I'm going to be using for this student is going to be AV, and he is a first grade student in the instructional self-contained classroom. His first language is Spanish, and he came to the United States when he was just 1. His culture is Mexican, and some things that he loves about his culture are the parades in the community, watching soccer with his family, the food, and celebrating different holidays. I interviewed his mother as well, so the parent introduction, she did spend most of her life in Mexico and then moved to the United States, and they moved here in hopes for a better life and more opportunities. She really values education and strong work ethic. She always sits down and does homework with my student, and she reads to him every single night in Spanish. And she said that she's noticed a lot of growth in his reading, and he's able to read in English and Spanish at home for being a first grader. Her goal for him is to become independent one day. Since he has autism, this was a great concern for her, and I encouraged her that there are a lot of opportunities for him. He is very strong in math and reading, and that he has a lot of potential for the future. So when I interviewed the parent, she had a few academic concerns with reading, comprehension, and writing. The quote that I chose from one of the readings discusses the academics behind people whose first language isn't English, and how a lot of these language minority students do not succeed in the classroom. He also has a younger brother who is 3 years old, and he is in preschool in the district, and he receives early intervention as well for some mild speech delays. So they state debate and controversy surrounding educational issues involving language minority students and students of color. This is evident as issues surrounding identity and cultural politics take the foreground in advocating for language minority students and their many experiences in the U.S. schools. So we continue to see these language delays among our language minority students. Even though uprooting didn't really affect AV since he was so young, it did affect his mother and father. She said there was a huge culture shock when moving to the United States. And AGOA states that there are the different stages of uprooting. So while this didn't really happen for AV, it did happen for her family. But she said it was nice that she moved to Cicero because it made assimilating to the culture very easy, because a lot of the people that do live in Cicero do have the same culture as Mexican and speak the same language as well. For interviewing AV, it was mostly surrounded about his culture and how he views school. He expressed that he really likes coming to school. He makes friends very easily in the classroom, and he has been integrated into a co-taught classroom and is very excited for all of the friends that he's been making there as well. He's very proud of his culture. He loves soccer. He always says Viva Mexico when he's talking about soccer, so it's fun to see. So for my student observation, upon first arriving, he was already code switching in the classroom and talking to people using his 2 different languages. And the teacher even encouraged it and tried to engage in the conversation as much as she could. And this shows that she's trying to be a multicultural teacher. She's embodying the characteristics of those who value diversity, and she's learning about her students. I could tell that she really cares about her student and making him feel comfortable within the classroom. So I observed a whole group reading lesson, a knowledge-based unit, and it is mostly about reading comprehension, and they did a writing activity. So when she called on him, he was encouraged to speak using full sentences. He would often speak using 1 to 2 word phrases. The teacher encouraged him to expand and use a full sentence. And he was able to answer a lot of the questions correctly, but he could use some more support with his speaking skills, and the teacher did a great job of modeling what that would look like. During the writing activity, he did need a lot more support with the spacing, the letter formation, capitalization, and punctuation. So the teacher did provide a lot of visual supports like highlighted lines for him. So to conclude, a lot of voluntary immigrants have a hard time in school, but teachers can ensure this doesn't happen by creating a welcoming environment. Ogbu states, since many involuntary minority students come to school with an ambivalence about the value of education and about confronting to the demands of white institution, building trust needs to be the first priority of teachers, and I think that this teacher is doing a wonderful job of building trust with her students. She is getting to know her students. She's using their culture in the classroom. And I think that this student is really going to succeed because of all the supports that he has in place in the classroom. These are my references, and thank you so much.